So a little bit about my business story. I kind of stumbled into this 10 years ago. 2010, I was looking into ways that I could work from home, drive some sort of income to replace my work income and be able to bring myself home as a work from home mama. I have 4 beautiful kids, and they, of course, were much younger then. And I just had a heart. One of them needed homeschooling, and I had a heart to be more present and be a stay-at-home mom. So I was looking through some books and exploring some options, and I discovered this career called coaching, or this business idea called coaching. And I was really pleasantly surprised that something that it turns out as I was reading into coaching and what it was, something I'd been doing my whole life, listening, offering advice, listening, being there for support, something that God had just kind of naturally gifted me with, and I had tuned up my skills in over the years, was actually what people were using as a career choice. So I got really excited and began to set up a website blog and start to ask God who I was to serve and what type of coach I should be. And I kind of stumbled into health coaching because at the time that I was seeking which type of coaching to go for, I was actually going to pursue being a woman speaker, like a motivational, leading events and being a woman speaker and doing ministry topics for moms and women. And at that time, my husband's health had taken a little bit of a hit. He has a lot that he deals with genetically, and it was starting to show up. And we became a little bit frightened over some doctor reports. And so we began to make this healthy lifestyle change on our own, outside of my coaching venture. And my coworkers at work started noticing the different, beautiful, colorful, fresh foods that I was bringing into work. So very long story short, my very first client, and the way that I knew I wanted to go into the healthy living field, was my coworker, a very precious woman who asked me to teach her to eat the way I was eating so that she could finally turn back this wave of lifelong obesity in her life and get some things under control. Well, I took her under my wings, started teaching her, and she said, "Girl, I feel like I need to pay you for this," because I was just kind of giving and giving. And I said, "Oh, no, you're my practice client. I'm not even sure I'm going to go this direction." And she said, "Oh, you better go this direction." And God used her to confirm my calling into an area I would have never previously thought I was called to. So that was 10 years ago. As soon as I went online and started joining groups on Facebook, Facebook was a more social place at that time and much more warm and friendly. I joined some women's groups and started identifying myself as a family health coach, Christian family health coach. And, I offer these recipes and I play around in my kitchen a little, and I've always loved cooking, mind you. So that kind of came naturally for this part of my business. And I know for some of you it doesn't. So don't feel any kind of pressure. This is just part of my story. But I just kind of stumbled into it and got in these groups and started spreading the word, and I started offering tips. So I started sharing these daily tips on Facebook, and I started sharing in these groups, and I started making these little memes, and pretty soon God was bringing me the clients. That first year, I served 18 people as my client, but I also ran challenges and groups, and those would fill up and do really well, and this thing just kind of started taking off. Fast forward a year or so, and a company here in my local town found me on LinkedIn and offered me the job of an on-site health coach at a telecommunications call center here in town. Well, that was baptism by fire. I had only served 18 private clients and a few people in some groups up to that point, and just really had just been giving tips and creating little worksheets and calling it good, right? Just kind of figuring out my way and learning how to set up my website and all these basics. Well, that call center was baptism by fire because I served over 120 personal private clients, one-on-one, over the next 18 months, 16 months, I think it was, here locally in that call center. All different backgrounds, all different ethnicities, all different genetic makeups, all different pre-existing conditions coming in, all different attitudes and perceptions on life and health. It was wonderful. It was a humbling experience. It was humbling, first of all, because the job listing, I didn't even go up for it. I got called out of the blue on LinkedIn because they didn't find anyone else for it at that time. This was in 2013. But humbling because you needed to have a bachelor's degree to get that job. And they bypassed that and hired me anyway from 2 interviews. When God calls you to this, he will bring you through it. And he will bring the opportunities at your feet. He's just waiting for us to pick them up, be willing and humble to do them, and trust him for the strength and the ability to do it when we think we're underqualified. Yeah, I'm going to say that again. Sometimes you think you're underqualified to do parts or all of this business. You are not. If he called you to this, you are already qualified by him. Watch him move aside the world's way to put you in a place of influence and impact. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. Okay. So I'm living proof of that, right? So from these first clients and then that baptism by fire at the call center, I start writing my book. God gives me my book, my very first book. It's a 12-week program. We still use this book. We still talk from it and teach from it, and I use it with the coaches for you guys to have a program. It's an amazing 12-week small group program or individual program for clients to make small step lifestyle changes in a biblical way. And it's called Fresh Start for Health, the workbook. And God gave me that book, and I put together a group at church. My church gave me permission to put this beta group together and lead them through this program. And I wrote the book each week. We would meet Monday nights, and I'd be writing that chapter of whatever was due for that Monday night that we were going to talk about, because God had given me the outline, but not all of it. And I had to go gather resources and think through it, and what would they need, and how could I serve them through that, and what information do they need to know on this? And I wrote that original book week by week in front of my live group, not in front of them, but I would bring them the raw copy the Monday night as handouts. And I tell them all the time, we wrote our book, guys. They helped me. That first initial group helped me write this amazing book, which has become my signature core program for my health coaching practice ever since. So if God is leading you to write something or a book or a program or put something together, please don't think that you're not ready. Just ask him how he wants you to do it. Ask him, should I be serving live while I do it, or are you wanting me to prepare this ahead of time? I need you to give it to me. I don't have it on my own, because I am living proof that you don't have to be qualified by the world's standards, but we definitely have to be called, because then he enables us. He puts that amazing knowledge, wisdom, way of expressing it, everything we need, he puts in us so that we can let it, release it through us to the people that we serve. So all this time, I'm learning all these things from my clients. I'm growing my business. I'm stumbling through the business building side. That was always the tough part for me. I'm spending way too much money on classes and courses and coaches. I know many of you can relate to that. And in the meantime, though, my conviction for this was growing deeper. My compassion was oozing out of me for the people that God was using to humble me and teach me and inspire me to keep doing this. And my community grew. The Fresh Start community was growing. The Fresh Start coaching community, which is what this community is now, several years ago, back in 2013, it was born out of other Christian coaches watching me grow and watching my community grow and saying, how are you doing that? Can I talk to you? Can you show me what you're doing? And so I took and created that beginner curriculum in 2013, 14, end of 13, I think, beginning of 14, and took my first group of 4 coaches through it. And it was called the Fresh Start Leadership Academy at that time. Then we went to Fresh Start Coaching Academy, and now we're the Christian Health Coaching Academy. And we are fine-tuned and more refreshed and full, bodied curriculum than ever. But we started out so baby small and so precious. And basically God was just using my stumbling to be a wonderful avoidance key for other Christian coaches. And I am totally fine with that. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited that he's still got me here doing this. So I was speaking, writing, sharing, talking about health. I was appearing on people's things. And guys, as soon as you open your mind to being on someone's podcast or guest writing a blog post, or even just doing your own content, getting on your own live cast, getting on your own website and blog post every week, sending out an email to your baby email list every week. As soon as you start doing that, the doors start to open because you're visible now. People are seeing your name and they're hearing your information and they're hearing your conviction and they're hearing your incredible passion for what it is that you teach and share. And so other doors lead to the next door, to the next door, to the next door. And it'll lead you to amazing relationships, amazing referrals. It's just the perfect way to do this is start sharing genuinely, authentically, just like I talk about in the quick guides I include in this course, and get out there and do the work and ask God to guide you, of course. Have your morning meeting with your CSO and ask him, I need your guidance. I need you to open doors. I need you to show me who to talk to. I need you to nudge me when I'm not stretching myself. I need you to pull me back when I'm going too far, too fast. I need you. Have that morning meeting and have that conversation with him. But as soon as you get visible and you start sharing and you start becoming super authentic and feeling so passionate about what you're doing, the stressful parts, the cost of this, the sacrifices of this business become minimal, and the reward and the turnaround and the financial increase become amazing, and the relationship reward becomes really deep and really amazing. I have sisterhood people around me, coaches, clients, colleagues, you name it, who have been in my circle or been a part of my community or been just linked arms with me for some of them for 8, 9 of these 10 years. A couple of them almost the whole 10 years. That's amazing. And let me tell you, the treasure in that is that just grows. That just grows and strengthens. So my story is one of a lot of stumbling, a lot of mistakes, a lot of accidental figuring it out. And yours might be too. And that's okay. But hopefully whatever you get from this course and any other thing that you're able to glean from me or jump into working with me on, even if it's just this course though, my heart for you is that, first of all, none of that is wasted and that you don't have to think it will be. Nothing negative about this business has to be wasted. God uses everything. Secondly, that you would have an expectation that you can do this on less output, working smarter, not harder, and that you would just have that expectation, like this does not have to be as hard as I'm sometimes making it, or this does not have to cost as much as I might be spending on it. I want to see you work smarter, not harder, but also work cheaper, make more, And that's part of why I even put this course together. My heart was behind that. So I hope that you gather those two things, not only from my story, which is such a crazy mix of miracles and magic from God and total mess ups, but that you also are able to embrace your story in a whole new way after watching this. Be sure and share with me some of your story, whether we jump on a call together or you message me through this course or through my website, or we connect on Facebook in our support group, Health Coaches on a Mission. We have a free community there that's amazing, and I would love to welcome you there. Whatever the case may be, however we connect, reach out to me, introduce yourself. I want to get to know you. I want to hear a little bit of your story, and I want to know how I can help you moving forward, or at least just cheer you on. If you already know it all and you don't need some of this stuff because it's all beginner or too basic for you, I'd still love to connect and get to know you and hear your heart. I love that you're in this community with us. We wouldn't be the same without you. And I love that you are on a path that God is going to use in such an amazing way that's yet to be seen. I'm excited to see it. Thanks again for being here. Be blessed, my new friend.